Visitation is the formal word for the time spent with the kids by the parent who has less time with them. If one parent has sole custody or primary custody, the other parent has visitation. If you haven't thought much about all the details that go into making visitation work well for the kids, you can go to our forms section and get the family law forms listed below. They will give you lots of ideas and things to think about for your parenting plan. The idea is that you only use those portions that fit your family, and you don't use the others. FL 341, FL 341A, FL 341B, FL 341C, FL 341D, FL 341E. These are all documents that can be attached to a court order or judgment to clearly write out what your arrangement is. Before you start filing court papers or go to mediation, it might be a good idea to read these forms because they will give you ideas of some of the issues that you might want to consider. Not all of them will apply to you, so you should only use those portions that fit your family. If you and your child's other parent are able to work out your own plan, you should write it down, if you can. If both of you talk with each other a lot, maybe you can get away with not writing it down, and you can call it reasonable visitation. Reasonable visitation is whatever the two of you agree it is. The problem with this one is that you might not actually agree, or your thinking of your agreement changes and becomes different from the other parent's thinking. So, it is a better idea to write it down while you are both sure of what will work, so that you have something to refer to when a glitch develops. Another thing to consider when thinking about parenting plans is everyone's personality. Some people need to nail down each and every detail. Some people are very loose and flexible. Some children need to know exactly where they will be and who they will be with well in advance. And some children are agreeable with whatever their parents think is the best plan. Some children can sleep anywhere and eat anything. Some children cannot. As your child grows older, these issues may change, and what works at age 3 probably won't work at age 7. And you may need to change again when your child becomes a teenager. What are your children like? What are you and your former spouse or partner like? There are more details to think about, like where do the kids go to school? Do they have daycare? Where do you work? Where does their other parent work? Are there transportation issues getting them to and from school, daycare, after-school activities? Who drives them? When and where? If you and the other parent live a long distance apart, what are the transportation needs? Who arranges it and who pays? If the distance requires an airplane ride, that will affect how often the visits occur, probably less often, but the visits will probably be longer. Other kinds of frequent and continuing contact can include telephone visits, emails and text messaging, computer video conferencing, as well as the old-fashioned cards and letters. Kids love to get mail. If you and your child's other parent are unable to agree on a parenting plan, you may need to go to court. Please watch the segment on custody, which tells you the process. If at all possible, please talk to your child's other parent in a business-like manner to see if you can come to some agreement that would work for your kid. If you were successful at this, then write it down and get your signatures notarized. Then get Form FL 355, Stipulation and Order for Custody and or Visitation of Children, to attach to the front of your agreement so you can submit it to the court for the judge's signature.